Well, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Mark Goes Hiking. I'm going to do part 2 of Mark Reacts to a Leave No Trace list this morning. It's about 30 degrees. I just found my spot in the woods. Kind of my new morning spot. I'm going to make a cup of coffee and react to this list. I have not read side 2 of this card, just as a little disclaimer. I read the headlines only, like the major topics on it, but I have not gone through all of the bullet points. So this will be a raw reaction video, just like the last one. The last one I had to edit, I think 2 spots because I started rambling really bad, which I tend to do. So this one I'm going to try to do in about 11 minutes, just straight, no edits. So it's a very real and raw reaction and on point. So let's go ahead, let's get started. And if you'd be so kind, please consider subscribing to this channel. That'll help the channel a lot, and then give it a thumbs up and comment and hit that bell notification so you know when I'm dropping more videos on YouTube. I'd appreciate that. That would help the channel a lot and help me go through with some plans I do have in the future. But that'll be a little bit as the subscriber base does build up. So here we go, part 2. We're going to dive right in. So let's do this without any edits. This should be interesting. Leave what you find is the next topic. So right at the top, leave. Let's get it to focus there. I don't think it's going to focus. All right, leave what you find. Preserve the past. Observe but do not touch cultural or historic structures and artifacts. I'm reminded here of, I think this to a degree is in moderation. I mean, if there's, I'm thinking of 2 things here, right? Both in Europe. One is in the Camino de Santiago, the way of St. James, right? You end at the Basilica of St. James, the Apostle, and the toe on the statue of St. James in that basilica is completely worn, right? I think it's no, it's not the toe. Sorry, I'm thinking of a statue, I think at the Vatican. Anyway, you get these old statues. The way of St. James, I think it's hands. I think it's like the fingers are imprinted on the statue there or on a pillar. I don't know why, I can't remember which one it is, but that would break this leave no trace principle. But there's something about that particular action that everybody does that completes this journey or visits this statue, right? And there's something almost liturgical about that, right? There's a ritual around that that I don't think applies here. And the other thing that comes to mind is when I was in Rome, gosh, 20 years ago, we had this tour guide. She was fun. Her name was Margarita, and she called herself Margarita the Tyrant because she was like, we're going here, we're going here, we're going here. And we were somewhere around the Roman Forum, and there was an olive tree, right? And, you know, she made a reference to the olive tree and what those were used for in the Roman Empire. And one of the kids, I don't think they were with our group, but picked an olive leaf, picked a leaf off that olive tree, right? And she was like, what are you doing? And got all on her face. And, oh, it's just one leaf. She said, but if every tourist took just one leaf, there'd be no more leaves. And I think that's something to consider. Is it something that is, I guess, a ritual around your hike, around the backpacking community? Because that's good, right? Or is it something where if everybody does it, there's not going to be anything more to do? Leave rocks, plants, and other natural objects as you find them. Okay, that makes sense. I think we covered some of that stuff last time. Avoid introducing or transporting non-native species. We get that in Michigan. There's the emerald borer bug. It was eating all of the elm trees, I think is what it was. The emerald ash borer, that's what it was. And just devastated really an entire species of tree in Michigan. And so there's a big push to not take firewood from one part of the state to another part of the state to avoid the spread of things like that. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that comes too with your feet. cleaning your shoes, cleaning your boots off if you're going maybe from state to state or region to region, part of the state to another part of the state. I mean, some of that you could get maybe a little OCD about. Things will travel. It's just going to happen. But I think, you know, doing what's simple, what just makes sense. Makes sense, you know. Do not build structures, furniture, or dig trenches. Who builds furniture when they backpack or hike? Unless they're talking about making those little like tripod chairs, you know, that you see in bushcraft videos. Building structures, dig trenches. Yeah, I think, okay, I have two thoughts on this. If you're out on state land and you're out in the middle of nowhere and the only person who's ever going to see what you're doing is, you know, a random hunter maybe each year, I'm a little torn on this one. I don't have a lot of problems with it. Now, yeah, if it's state land or you're just going to go build a cabin in the middle of the woods, I don't know. But if you're going to build like a teepee and practice some bushcrafting skills and you're not on a super populated trail or super populated area, I actually think that's kind of a good thing. Dig trenches, okay, fine. Dig trenches. Build furniture, that was weird to me. I don't know. I think there's a give and take on this one, depending on where you are. Obviously, highly populated trails, yeah, don't do that kind of stuff. That makes sense. Leave it as it is. Keep it as natural as possible. But if you're just out in the middle of the woods, state land, federal land, and practicing bushcraft skills, other people could use it. Moderation to all this stuff, of course. If everybody starts doing it or if it becomes that's a different story. But yeah, that might be controversial, but that's my opinion. Minimize campfire impacts. Campfires can cause lasting impacts to the backcountry. Use a lightweight stove for cooking and enjoy a candle lantern for light. So I think they're saying as opposed to a fire. Where fires are permitted, use established fire rings, fire pans, or mounted fires. You also see like established campsites on trails. There's going to be rocks in a circle, probably not established by the rangers or whatnot, but certainly has become an established fire ring, and I think that makes sense. Use those. I will say, you know, I've been to a lot of campsites on some busy trails, and you'll see the stone fire ring, and 15 feet away you'll see some black ash where someone else had a fire, and then just over there's another one too. That kind of takes away a spot to set up a tent in an established zone. And so I would say if there is already an established fire ring or an established spot that someone is having a fire, use that spot, because nobody wants to set their tent up on some old black ash that's just going to rub black all over their tent. So I think that's good. I like that. Keep fires small. Only use sticks from the ground that can be broken by hand. Do not take branches off trees. I suppose if there's a branch that's completely dead, or if there's a tree that's completely dead, that might make sense. Also, I mean, I guess, especially for winter backpacking, right? I mean, if you're out and there's a widowmaker that's sitting up there and you're looking up this tree, like a pine, for instance, and it's completely dead, I mean, taking that down might actually be a service. But in general, yeah, use the sticks on the ground. Don't be breaking up live trees. That's not cool. Burn all wood and coals to ash. Put out campfires completely, then scatter cool ashes. I think scatter within the fire ring. Why would you scatter them out of the fire ring? That wouldn't make any sense. That seems to break the principles on this card. So I think it's spread them out in the fire ring. That makes sense. Please don't leave your campfires hot. If it's smoking, don't leave it. You know, you probably have to pee, so pee on your fire. Okay, respect wildlife, observe wildlife from a distance. Do not follow or approach them. Yeah, here, berry, bear. Here, bear. Yeah, that would be dumb. There's some spots, though, that in Michigan, on some of the islands that you can go to, like the North and South Manitou Island. I think Isle Royale is like this as well. I haven't experienced in the mainland at all, but the chipmunks and squirrels will just like come right up to you and eat out of your hand. It's good luck. You don't have to approach them, they approach you. And definitely hang your stuff and keep it in sealed containers because they will get into it, no doubt. Never feed animals. All right, well, I just did that. Feeding wildlife damages their health, alters natural behaviors, and exposes them to predators and other dangers. I don't know how it exposes them to predators, but okay. Why would feeding them expose them to predators? Not that I'm advocating for feeding them, but I'm trying to figure out the logic of that particular point. Maybe because the predators know where they are? I don't know. That seems really silly. Not necessarily it's silly. I just don't get the logic of that particular point. But never feed animals. I think that makes a lot of sense. And, you know, in Michigan, for hunting right now, the last few years has been a lot of controversy over food plots. Or not food plots, a grown food plot, but baiting for deer hunting. You know, throwing out like beets or carrots or corn. And they said it's because of this wasting disease that's going around the deer. One, putting out some corn and beets, and that's not going to help spread chronic wasting disease. I don't really get that. Ted Nugent, actually, you know, the Motor City Madman, he's got some good rants with our legislature about that one. And anyway, yeah, I personally am not really for baiting deer with corn, especially because it's, I don't know, I kind of want the food I'm going to eat, eating better food than corn. Corn is just a filler, kind of empty food. So beets, yeah, I guess beets and carrots, I'd bait with that. That's kind of beside the point here. Never feed animals when you're out backpacking, hiking, I guess in general, right? That makes sense, right? Keep nature, keep it wild. I mean, let them find the food as they naturally do. Don't make them dependent on us. That was a little bit of a ramble. I may have to edit that last part out. Control pets at all times or leave them at home. Yeah. And pick up your dog poop on the trail. That's all I'm going to say about that. No, I'm going to say it one more time. Pick up your dog poop on the trail. Okay. No, that's all I'm going to say. Avoid wildlife during sensitive times, mating, nesting, raising young, or winter. And I'm just going to add this. If you're hiking in the woods during hunting season, wear orange. Wear orange. Last one, be considerate of other visitors. Pick up your dog poop off the trail. I think I made that point now. Respect other visitors and protect the quality of their experience. Yeah, don't be blasting music from your backpack. Use headphones if you're going to listen to music. In fact, turn your stupid music off if you're hiking. Jeez. All right. No, I get it. There's some times where you might be at the end of a long day or, you know, you need that little moral support. I'm not a thru hiker, so I can't speak to that. But, you know, for weekend warriors, for the most part, yeah, just enjoy the silence. Man, turn it off. Be courteous, yield to other users on the trail. Yeah, typically if somebody's going uphill, give them the right of way because they've got the harder track and they probably have a pace going, so let them go first. Step to the downhill side of the trail when encountering pack stock. Step to the downhill side of the trail when encountering pack stock. I don't know what that means. Take breaks and camp away from trails and other visitors. Yeah, I guess just don't sit literally on the trail when you're taking a break. And camp away from trails and other visitors. Yeah, I guess that's that 200 feet away principle from the other side. Let nature's sound prevail. Avoid loud voices and noises. Amen to that. All right, guys, that is the second installment of Mark Reacts to Leave No Trace. The third one is going to be an overall thought process from me. Oh, I almost spilled my coffee. Overall thought process from me on Leave No Trace principles and how it really is for everybody. Look for that video to be posted just in a couple days. I'm going to keep these pretty tight together since it's a series. Until then, I'll see you guys on that video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell notification, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Thanks for viewing.